The problem with friends in Gen Z, I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna say, but bro, like, I'm not gonna lie. At least for me, it's always been like I have like one main friend, two main friends, and then everyone else is just kind of like, I talk to them, online and in person, but like I don't go out of my way to hang out.
I
Just
am
how it
so lonely.
goes.
Son, are you alright?
Oh, I was talking about this problem.
Why does nobody care about me?
That's so loud. Golly. Oh, it's
You
because
guys
my.
ever notice how older people seem to have no issue talking to others? You know, like that old person in
Oh,
line
so
who
he's gonna,
just
yeah,
who
it's
just
gonna, he's gonna talk about in-person meet interactions, of course.
talks and
Yeah,
talks
I
and
lack
talks and
those.
yaps all the time, as much as they like. There's a bit of charm to that, you know, kind of like reminiscent of older times when people just like spoke to everyone. Now, why is it that my entire generation seems to lack basic social skills? I don't say this to like trash on anyone, but like it's just a genuine question as to why. It's like you go up to someone, just try to start a conversation with them, and they almost look terrified at you, like, what? Someone is speaking to me. What? You know, an entire generation
That is
of
true.
socially anxious people. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, I kind of am like that too. Sometimes I'm super
Bro, yeah, that
scared.
is literally me, bro. Like the other day, bro, I was just chilling in the science. It's part of the school. Well, and then there's snowing, so some kid just was like, "Oh, is it snowing?" And I looked up. I'm like, "What?" Like I didn't say anything because I was so confused. And I was like, it was the most awkward thing because he was clearly talking to me, but I was just so confused because I was like, "What? Why is this kid randomly talking to me?" And I realized it's normal for that to happen. I was like, "Oh my God, I just look like a fool." And things like that happen for everyone. But like I think the main problem is everyone, if there's no one they know, everyone just goes on their phone. Like in college, bro, I'm telling you, it's literally just phone simulator. The second there's a break, basically no talking, except for the people who already know each other. And there has been exceptions obviously where people all talk to each other, and most of the times it's just, especially in college, it's prevalent where it's just everyone's on their phone and it's ridiculous when there's a break or something. It's just sad. No interactions. Like how are people gonna make friends? I don't know. Um, the only time I've really made friends really is through, like, at least in college, is through like labs and like having to work with people. Like, oh, in math, like, hey, you have to help someone. It's the only time I've really talked to people, which is kind of sad. But it's just how it goes.
To just go up and talk to people because some of you guys are scary. I feel like if I go up to you, I'm gonna end up being the topic for the next day in whatever group chat you're in. It's almost like you look at
Oh,
these older
that's a stupid reason, bro. Who cares? Like, I never would. Oh wow, you're in a group chat and you're being talked about. You don't even see the group chat. I highly doubt that. Oh wow, you talk to a man when he's sitting down. Oh man, that's gonna be a topic of the group chat for him. Like, no, it doesn't even make sense.
people, and you just wonder, like, how do you have all this confidence to just go up to someone and talk to them without any fear of anything, without any fear of rejection or just being seen as weird? You guys remember when we were younger, how when you were younger, when you were like 4 years old or something, you just had the confidence of literally anyone, you just go up to anyone, anything, any girl, and you're like, yes, hello, it is me, I am here to speak to you today. And
That's
then it works out because they're also in the same mindset, so then you end up being friends. Bam, boom, new friend for you. Okay, because I saw a post the other day, I don't know where it was, it's probably on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it because it was an image. If I can't, then oh well. But pretty much it was like, I aspire to have the confidence of a 4-year-old wearing a Batman t-shirt. And that's pretty much
what?
what it seems like when you observe other people like having conversations. Damn, I sound so weird.
Yeah, wait, what
When
are
you
we talking
observe
about?
other people doing basic human interaction. Oh my gosh, what have I come to? Because for whatever reason, there's more and more people that are just alone, more alone than ever. How is it that you are surrounded by people? You are surrounded by everyone. You know, you're in high school, you're in the workforce, you're in college even. You're surrounded by people nonstop. So why is it that you're alone? But it's not just
Yeah,
you. It's many other people.
yeah, it's true, dude. I'm not gonna lie, it's true. Um, Especially when going to college. I mean, I think the big thing really is just like, okay, here's an example I'm thinking. Like not everyone, but like there's a lot of people, who are in between classes, right? They're gonna, instead of going out and like talking to people like people back in the day might have done, where they go out and like, oh, I'm gonna engage with people who are sitting around. Instead it's just go on my phone, chill in like a corner, right? But the big thing is like the other day, bro. Well, it was months ago, but this kid randomly started like talking to me while I was working, studying between classes, and it was so weird. He was like so like excited to talk about his life. He's like, "Oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what my job is. My life is so hard. Blah blah blah." I just sat there and said, "Is this what people have to deal with?" Because like, there's no way that it's just it was annoying, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that person was special. I don't know. Like in the sense of like they're rushing things, I guess. I don't know. That's just like if that's how it used to be, where it's just like, you're chilling, you're studying, and next thing you know, you're getting bombarded with information by a random person you just met. It's like, okay. But yeah, I think a lot of people are alone, and it includes me. I mean, thing is, I have a lot of friends, in contact, but I never actually talk to them. That's basically sums up my life. I don't actually hang out with people often. Um, which I've been trying to fix over the time, because it's sad life, low key.
There's so many other people that are just alone now for whatever reason. They have a loving family. They have family members that genuinely care about them, but yet every single day when they go to bed at night, they can't help but feel this sense of loneliness. Like no one else is there for them. No one else cares. So the reason why you feel this way at night, as if no one cares about you. Okay, this is gonna sound really crazy, but bear with me here. Is because you're right. No one actually cares about you, nor do you actually care about anyone else. So let me explain. So whenever
That's a completely wrong sentence. Like, I don't believe in that at all. No one cares about you. You don't care about anyone else. You're just speaking on behalf of everyone. Like, you can't just do that. That's ridiculous. There's no way that everyone who's lonely they don't care about anyone. There's no way. I don't believe it.
one of your friends or acquaintances tells you about a problem that they're having, for example, maybe trying to find a job, sure, you'll feel bad for them in the moment and you will sympathize with them because, it's your friend, that's what you do. But when you go to sleep at night, you aren't thinking about that problem that they're having, are you? Of course not, because you're too concerned about your
Oh my God, that's a horrible argument. This is stupid. That is a horrible argument because, of course, if you have your problems come first, naturally. When you're sleeping in your bed, you're thinking about your problems. And if someone else's problems is severe enough, then you'll think about it, but you're not going to be, like, thinking about... maybe I'm delusional, but I feel like that's normal. Like, you're focused on yourself first, and then think about others. Unless others affect you personally, right? That's how I see it.
your own life to care about anyone else. Because
But,
we
like,
as
that's
humans
not a matter of not caring. I don't know. I think that's ridiculous. That's just outrageous to say.
are just naturally selfish. That doesn't make you a bad person because that's just how our brains work. Unless you take it to some extremes on purpose, then alright, that's different. But for example, when you're in school studying for a test, you aren't thinking about how everyone else is going to do. You're only concerned about whether you pass the test or not. Then when it's done and you have your final score, that's when you ask, hey, how did you do on the test? Partly because you're curious about how everyone else did, because you want to compare their score to yours. And
It's true, and not gonna lie, bro, high school, bro, like, whenever people would ask me, hey, how did you do on the test? It'd always be, oh, I don't want to tell you, because a lot of times it was not good. I hated that question. And then it became a thing where it's just like, people would ask me, hey, how did you do on the tests? Knowing that I would say something worse than them, and they'd be like, I got an A, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I got a C. They'd be like, wow, shocking. Yeah, that was a feature.
you want to know? You want to know something? There is some slight truth to that. As controversial as it sounds, I believe there is some slight truth to that. How you're surrounded by everyone, but yet you feel more alone than ever. In a generation where we are more connected than ever, there has never been a time in history to where you can have this simple device in your hand at any time. You can pull it out anytime, anywhere, whenever the heck you want, and send a message to anyone on this planet. Literally anyone. Whether it's a celebrity, or your mom, or your friend, or, I don't know, your online friend across the country. So how is it that we have this ability? We have this ability to message literally anyone and anything, but yet we're so alone. We're more alone than ever. It seems like no one can even have, the basic skills of holding a conversation now. And
It's probably because most people are talking online. Well, not most. I wouldn't say that, but the people who, there's a lot of people who just talk online or message people online instead of actually talking in person, or they're getting calls and whatnot. I think of all the people who use Discord, including me, to call their friends instead of hanging out with them. Oh, I'm gonna play some games with my boys, And then it's like when you're in person, it's like, well, then what? Like for me, it's like, most of my interactions with friends is going to be online playing games, right? So for me, it's like when I'm in person with them, it's like, what am I doing? Like it just feels unnatural, you know? But I don't feel like it's over. I don't know. I feel like I am in the problem where it's like, I am. I don't know. Never mind. It doesn't matter. What
Struggle
is?
with
Well, why do these gifts? Like, why? I
this
don't know.
too. Sometimes I'm like terrified to go up and speak to someone. Why? Why am I afraid to go and speak to this person that's like 40 pounds lighter than me? But there may be
Gen Z will be the last sociable generation. Well, I don't know. I can't really say if that's true because you have to go through school. And whether you like to admit or not, school does kind of force you to interact with people. At least public school does. I don't know about anything else, but it does force you at points to interact. So you have to be somewhat sociable because obviously, if you're not sociable or you just do dumb things, then you just become the outcast of the school, basically. Or people look at you and go, "Ew," you know? Homeschooling is worth. No, it is not. Uh, like the problem with homeschooling is really like, you're assuming that the parents have enough time to teach. They know what to teach and they know what is good for the student, right? Or the child in this case, They know exactly what is the best stuff. They have to figure out, like, you know, um, what's it called? Like, what is important to learn, what's not. They have to spend years and years of time, teaching and making sure their child is up to date. And honestly, I could see it being really easy for, a child to fall behind in homeschooling. Not gonna lie, probably has happened many times. I know that 1 plus 1 is 11. Okay, so we're trolling. We're trolling. Also, for all the people who say math is useless, um, I I don't know. I feel like it has a use. Like I feel like, when I was in high school, everyone it would always be like, "Ugh, math is useless. Ugh, I'll never learn this. I'll never need this stuff." And it's a complaint of high school, "Oh, why a lot of the stuff you learn you don't even need." But the thing about it is like really at the end of the day, it's preparing you for your future in the sense of like if you want to go down that road. And also it's good to know a lot about math. And it also makes you use your brain. That's the big thing, like you're developing your brain in the years that are important, right? If you're learning all this complex math, right, and you actually understand it, your brain is getting way more intelligent and like I don't know exactly how the brain works in that sense, so yeah, great. Look like a fool, but it doesn't matter. The point is your brain is actually like being activated in, the years where your brain needs to be used the most. It's taking in the most information, right? Because your brain keeps developing until whatever, 25 or something.
a reason why you struggle with getting friends. It might be your appearance. Because, pretty privilege is a real thing. If you're more attractive, it's a lot easier for people to, make connections and make long-term lasting effects on things. And, if you go up to people looking like a freaking checkerboard, then yeah, it's probably not going to look good on you. Damn, this guy doesn't take care of himself. Like, what is this?
Yep, that was me for a while. Okay. That was me for a while, I'm not gonna
And
lie. You
that's
could
why
argue still now, but not really as much.
I'm proud to announce today's sponsor, Tej
Oh,
Hanley.
what's
Guys,
this?
I know, I'm just that good. They
I don't care. Oh, it's acne things? Bro, but like I'm not even sure what happened, but like a couple years ago I had like acne all over my back, my chest. Still have it a little bit, and I used like Accutane, I believe it was. And I don't know what happened, but now my entire back and chest and shoulders are just covered in like bumps. Like I don't know what happened. I think it's probably because I kept on picking at the acne and like it just became a problem. I don't know, but like that's a problem. I don't know what that's all about, to be honest. Look how shiny his nose is. Hmm. Yeah, wait, why? Oh, because he's using the product, right? Right, that makes sense. Oh, so it's advertising. He used the product, and no, it's not. It's not. It's probably used the product or once. Okay. I do think, by the way, appearance does play a factor into, getting friends, obviously, but not fully because it's just not how that works. If you have a good personality or you're interesting, people will be around you, and if you look in the case of me, where like I didn't look the best when like for a year or two in high school, bro. Just 'cause the way I had my beard was horrible. I didn't take care of myself really that well, hygiene wise. And yet I still found people to talk to, right? Like, I don't think it really matters fully, unless you're just completely stinky. Um, yeah.
Teach Hanley's
All right,
performance
then
driven.
how is this still
Whether
going?
you're starting a new job or going on your first date. Once again, thank you Teach Hanley for sponsoring this video. But of course, making friends isn't all about looks. That's not how it always is. That's not how
What is
friendships
this?
work. If you're just really funny, then you can just make friends, you know? You ever see the average male friend group? Because we don't care. It doesn't matter to us. If you're one of the
Exactly.
boys, you're one of the boys.
Guys, this is Miranda. She's one of the boys.
That's just how things are. But you know, some people just aren't some of the boys. And that really sucks because, you know, some people, that's like their only friend group at all. That's
Bro,
their
I'm being so distracted by the gifts. Like, what is this? A rat? Look how obese that rat is. And it's carrying a pancake. Explain to me this.
only friend group because they're so socially anxious to talk to anyone else. So then you end up getting fake friends. And the fake friends, this has always been a thing.
Yeah, I
Fake-
see. The thing about these is I know about them. I was intelligent enough to kind of to understand that concept it's just like there's a lot of people, especially in school, where they're just friends in school. And you can call them friends, but they're really not. They're just people that you talk to because you're in the same building. I had a lot of those, you know, especially throughout school and just in general, where you're on good terms, you love talking to them, great, but you never actually talk outside of school. And I think a lot of people have that and then don't actually have real friends. I don't know. I've been lucky enough to have actual friends, but most of the people I talk to in school are not friends, like real friends. It's you. What are you talking about? It's me.
Fake
What are
friends
we
have been
talking
a
about?
thing literally since forever. It seems that now they are even more effective of doing their job of being fake and like ruining every friend group. If you don't know what a fake friend
Oh,
is,
well,
it's
let's talk about
pretty
this.
self-explanatory. It's someone that, you know,
This is what I was talking about. I've never really experienced this, by the way. Like, why would someone do this? Why would someone pretend to care about you and then just to attack you? Was that say? Also known as they tend like act for only when it benefits them. Oh, I get it. Okay, I don't know why it took me 20,000 years to understand that. Yeah, I've met a lot of people who are like that, honestly. Sadly enough. The rat? I'm not the rat. What? Okay, yeah, okay, I actually see where this is. I know exactly why you're saying that, because one of the streams like a couple months ago I said, oh, I don't actually care about your problems. I was talking about people who go in the DMs online and just show up in your DMs and start crying. Or I remember, you know, back in the day there was this viewer who'd go in my DMs and just talk about his life and his problems. I'm not a friend of his though. Like I don't care about him, and I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna actually hold your hands and talk about why your life sucks. I don't care. It's just the truth. That's what I was talking about. Like I hate people who just immediately lash all their problems on you, or like just they don't go to the step of like actually getting to know you. They just immediately like treat you like you care about them. You're the perfect example. What does that mean?
pretends to be your friend but really doesn't care at all. It's like, why are you keeping me around then if you don't care? And you know, they somehow just infiltrate every friend group that you have. You know, friend group A and friend group B. Weirdly
not
enough,
really.
some of these people treat it like a popularity contest of who can have the most friends. Essentially what you're doing is just building up an inactive
Yeah, okay, yeah. This is what I don't understand. How do all the people I follow on Instagram, right? All these people I know, they all have all these followers. I'm just sitting there. There's no way you know like 1,000 people on a personal level. There's no way. Or there's no way you have 1,000 people who know you. Like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then I have my small follower account, but I never get insecure about a follower account, at least on Instagram, because like who cares? The reason why I say that is because I'd rather have authentic, you know, people who actually care about me follow me than some random crappy bots or like random people that I've seen once or messaged once, you know, like that's not the idea. Why are these photos so blurry?
follower base on Instagram,
Yeah, like 2,000
personally
followers
don't
is
see the
crazy.
appeal in having hundreds of fake friends. If anything, you really just
Like, okay, I mean,
of who can
look at
have the
this.
most friends.
I just know-
Essentially, what you're doing is just
Okay, 187 followings, kind of
building up
diabolical.
an inactive follower base on
But
Instagram.
following 2,859, how does one do that? How does one accomplish that? I'd love to know. Like, at that point, you literally are just following people who just say the words that you like. Like, oh, you say a word that I like. Oh, you say you like my hobbies. Follow. You have pictures that are in trees. I like forests. Follow. Like, that's literally would be. Oh my god, monkey, bro. Oh my god, I'm never gonna live down the monkey thing. Like, basically one time I said, oh, I'm gonna dress up as a monkey as a joke. Like, I didn't actually think I was gonna go out of my way to dress up as a monkey. For a stream, but you know, now it's a thing that has to stay with me for almost a year. It's been like 9 months ago or something crazy. Which is great. Like, I don't even know if I want to do it. Like, I don't even know where I'd find a monkey costume, you know? I know exactly where, to be honest. Amazon probably has a monkey costume. Do I invest? If it's more than like $20, no way. Yeah, whatever. You're already one. Okay.
I personally don't see the appeal in having hundreds of fake friends. If anything, you really just have hundreds of acquaintances rather than genuine connections with other people. Because with the rise of Gen Z came a lack of empathy with it. To the
Yeah, like, okay, for example, everyone I know who has Snapchat, bro, they have like 1,000 friends, it feels like. You know, they scroll and you're like, oh my god, you know all these people? And I'm sitting there and I have like maybe like 15 people who I in my friends list, and that's it. No one else. And you know why? Because I don't friend people I don't care about, you know? If I don't like care about you on a personal level, I'm not friending you. So then I got all these friend requests, they're just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I recognize your name. I'm not friending you, bro. That's just how it goes, you know? And I don't get why people friend on like their social media accounts just people that they recognize their name, you know? It's weird.
point to where some
Bro is talking about tariffs for monkey costumes. What? Oh, because maybe, okay, yeah, maybe it's made in China. That would make sense. By the way, now, oh, you know what? Now we have to do something crazy. We have to find authentic American-made monkey costumes.
Some people think that this basic human emotion to feel empathetic towards others is something that some people just don't have or is a rare human trait, which really goes to show how messed up we are as a generation. We've been fed this narrative for so long now that some people genuinely believe that there is no good people left on this planet, which is why most people in high school just prefer to stay in their close-knit friend groups in high school or college because they already know them so well, and it's scary enough having to go talk to new people. But, you know, you have all these friends in school, you know, especially in high school. You know, a lot of the time, this even happened to me too. When you graduate, especially if you're going your own path, said everyone just kind of vanishes, like they just disappear.
Yeah,
off the
I'm
face of
lucky
the
that that didn't happen to me fully, but like, yeah, most people just, I'm never gonna talk to them again. Like I'd say 97% of people I've met in high school are never talking to again. Or just I've ever seen. You know, anyone I recognize, I could say their name, probably I'm not talking to ever again. Ever since I graduated. Be honest. It's just how it goes. The stream is already buffering. Okay, bro. I don't. And then
Weird.
there's
So
this narrative. Oh, your stream is buffering. That must mean your graphics card sucks. Like, bro, like the internet is not associated with the graphics card. It's an internet issue, most likely. Anyways, whatever.
As a broke kid, fresh out of high school, and everyone I knew disappearing into college, especially if it's a lot of people, you know, that you were friends with, but you didn't really like them, but the only reason you were friends with them was just because you didn't want to cause drama in the school. But then when that's gone, you know, after you graduate, you know, you go into the workforce.
That's a crazy
You
photo.
want to cause drama in the school. But then when that's gone, you know, after you
Like, how do you, is that really, that's crazy. How does one, like, actually willingly post this onto the internet at all? You just, yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
graduate, you go into the workforce, you go to college. Yes, the people that you didn't like having as friends disappear, but then most of your friends, if not all of them, disappear as well. Since this generation, of course this is not everyone, but most of this generation just lacks social skills. For whatever reason. I mean, we all know why. It's no secret. I'm gonna stop beating a dead horse and just say like, oh my gosh, guys, it's social media's fault.
It's
It's
not.
all their fault. It's all their fault. Yes and no, because you gotta think of it, right? Yes, that has like a big contributing factor as to why a lot of people just lack the ability to speak to others now. You can't help but realize it's also partially our fault too. Your phone isn't physically gripping you on your face, forcing you to like stay glued to the screen. It's not doing that. It is you subconsciously picking up the phone just to scroll and do more stuff and waste more time. But it's also specifically designed to be that way. But it is also you physically doing it. So it's like, I like to think of it as just being my own fault as to why I lacked social skills in high school. No, I'm not
That's
saying
not why, though. Do you know how that most people, who probably have social skills, that, according to him, like social skills, right? Most likely also are addicted to their phone. It's not like, oh my God, like I feel like everyone's addicted to their phone. So saying it's the phone's fault is ridiculous. It is a ridiculous claim because everyone is. L voice crack. Okay, bro. When is there ever going to be a W voice crack? Explain to me that. You know what's pissing me off this whole time, by the way? Look at this. Look at his background. Like, this is out by, like, a tiny, like, centimeter off from lining up with that. This is just completely misaligned. And this is a misaligned. Oh, that's downright horrible. Like, why? How do you have a wallpaper or whatever that is that's just completely misaligned? That just pisses me off so hard. Why? Who designed that? Please fire them immediately. His bedroom looks minimalistic. I'm not gonna lie, my bedroom probably... No, it doesn't probably. It looks worse than this, arguably. I don't have anything going up for my bedroom. Because all I do in it is sleep. I mean, that's really it. Or just lay in my bed sometimes.
that I'm like some extrovert. I'm the social guru. I'm gonna talk to everyone. I'm gonna go up to you in public and ask you about low taper fade.
Will knee surgery affect my winter arc if low taper fade is still massive in 2025?
Just go up to people
Why would you
and
do
ask
that?
them whatever random dumb shit ever. But there is a fix to this. After graduating, how it seems like your social life just vanishes, it disappears. But it's not just you experiencing this. It's not just me either. This is not an isolated incident. This is happening with everyone. And that doesn't mean it's over for you because you can make friends with your coworkers. Where you're forced to speak to them. Talk to people. Look at me.
What? Oh.
You just can't help but feel that some people, especially people like entering the workforce, like I was a few years ago, you'll look at other people in there. You just can't help but realize like some of these people just lack basic social skills. Like, stuff that you'd think that would be learned by now. Even people like in their 40s lacking these basic social skills. Now, I'm not going to say why because we all know why. We all subconsciously know why. Because, let's look at this school. Let's look at school in the early 2000s. Before the phones were invented. Look at this. You notice one thing, how there's no phone in sight. And what are people doing? They're speaking to one another.
Yeah.
They're actually holding
That's
conversations
because they have
with
nothing
people.
better to do. Like, there's nothing better to do. That's like the best way to use their time, right? If they're got a break or something, boom, you just do that. But now it's like, well, I think the problem is really, at the end of the day, I guess, to break it down psychologically, it's like, your phone is convenient, you know it well, and at the end of the day, you're going to do things that you know well and are comfortable with, and doing the uncomfortable, which would be talking to people, if you're not used to that, you will not do. So you're not going to go out of your way to go and talk to people because it's uncomfortable. And the people who find it comfortable will do it anyways, right? But which results in this endless loop of like, you just find other things to do besides, talking to people because you find it uncomfortable and you haven't done it in a while, basically. This video's buns. Yeah, look, I mean, it doesn't make the best points
And you
ever,
could
but
even see this over the years. This is the same thing with, relationships and dating. The way they meet. The way that people meet now.
met online. Yeah, it's cooked. This is percentage who met this way. Oh my god. Met in a bar or restaurant is going down. What is this? Met through friends? That's a feature, I guess. Yeah, I can't relate to any of this, by the way, so yeah. Met in college. Let's see, where is that? Neighbors? Neighbors went down. Ooh. Yeah, do neighbors even talk to people ever? Like, I don't think they do anymore, really. Met through coworkers. And then we got, met through family? What? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's gone down a lot. What? Wow. Do you have female interaction? No, not really. It's a huge problem for me. Not gonna lie.
versus back then is obviously way different. Now that doesn't mean it's entirely.
By the way, I will never be down bad enough to go on the internet and ask for, like, go on a dating website or any of that stuff, because at first off, well, the main reason why is because it's just too risky, really. You don't know what I don't know. It sounds stupid, but like, dude, there's so many catfishes and people who just are like, you doing it just for the money, like, oh, pay for my meal, you know, kind of situation. Yeah, I don't know. It's not worth it. I'd rather do it in person, but the problem is in person, I never actually do anything either. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm never really going anywhere. That's just what's gonna happen at the end of the day.
Because there is still people that, you know, do it the traditional way, and that way, the traditional way, is way better for very obvious reasons. I can go into detail in a different video. I'm gonna show you guys how to get all the partners you want. Did I do that?
Why would this guy talk? Is this guy qualified? It's a real question. I highly doubt he's qualified based off what he's been saying. Well, his negative 100 risen, or I mean, my riz, yeah, it's not there. I mean, I think the main problem is like, if I like a girl though, I'm not talking to her. It's just not happening. And then I hope like, oh, maybe I'll talk to her, you know, some organic way. But like, at the end of the day, no one, like, you're never gonna talk to someone unless one of you makes the move first. If you're not like in a situation where it's like, oh, you end up in a group or something. You know, like, if you just see them every day, like, you know, and you don't do anything, it's just nothing's gonna happen. But like, you know, I'm just like, I don't want to do it, and that's the end of that's the problem, really. Really, that's the problem, is I don't speak to them. I don't know. I'm not one of those people though where it's like, oh, if a girl talks to me, I'm instantly just shaken up. It's like, dude, yeah, they're humans. It's simple. You just talk to them normal. I don't really care until it's someone I like, you know.
That, guys, should I go up to people? What would you guys think if I just approached women? If I just approached like 100 girls as a short introvert? That would be an interesting video. I might try that, guys. Might do that.
Today, I'm gonna be approaching 100 different people. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah, sure.
awesome.
But you know, with everyone having this mass social anxiety of not being able to speak to people, even when they do, why can no one hold a conversation? And it's not even like just in person too. This is over text as well. You know, you'll DM someone and then cooking up the hottest opener, the greatest opener of all time.
That's
Wow,
not
really interesting. Way to stand out from the rest. You know how people.
Yeah, nah, I used to be like that, where I was dry texter, where you just start off by saying, how's your day going? Or hello. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. I still know people who say that, like, oh, you know, like when they want to talk to me through messages, they'll be like, how's your day going? It's like, really? Like, I'd rather hear anything else but that. Like, yeah, I guess it's nice in person, but dude, it's texting. Like, you gotta make it interesting. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Also, the whole how's your day going thing is stupid in my opinion, mainly just because, I don't know if this is true, but does anyone actually sit there and listen if you said, my day's going bad? Because everyone answers good, let's be honest. Everyone says good, or, oh, it's okay. But no one's like asking, oh, you know, what's making the day okay? Or why is the day so good? No one's actually like going more in depth, so what's the point of answering, you know, like, differently? I don't know. It's just the whole situation seems stupid to me in that sense.
People like 30 years ago, you know, they'd be waiting in line or something for like a concert, and then they would just turn around and start talking to people because, you know, there was nothing else to do. They couldn't go on their phone. So what else was there to do? Turn around and meet new people and talk to one another, make connections, make lifelong friends. That doesn't mean that doesn't exist at all still, because it does. It's just very few and far between now, which is kind of sad. You know, it's possible to make friends, you know, like lifelong friends that last into your 40s. You know, the people you meet in high school and then you end up still being friends with them when you're like 40 something years old. You know, having all those crazy stories of, yeah, remember that time when we did this crazy thing together? We did all this, all that as well. Because it seems like that's disappearing now. Less and less people have, you know,
what are these statistics? Let's see. I usually have friends to spend time with. Usually have friends to spend time with. Yeah, I mean, those correlate basically. When the graph goes down, it goes up here. Actually, wait, that doesn't make sense. Why is it that... What? Why is... So this one goes down more, right? But this goes up less. Actually, no, does it go down more? Because it's actually just like... Yeah, no, I don't know why this goes up more. I don't know.
Friends, social groups. You know, you're surrounded by everyone. They're surrounded by many people, but yet we fear the most basic social interaction. It's not over. It is definitely still a thing. You know, you see the rise of online friends. People still have friends, but just on their phone now through a screen. Some people take this to the next level. They don't even speak to people. They just speak to a robot. But you can
Oh
still
my
make
god,
friends.
the fact that's a feature, by the way. That I just like, when I discovered that people, you know, what was it, paying for like a bot or like an AI to say, like, you know, like sexually, what's the word? Sexually talk to them, like sexually, and they had to pay for that. Like, that made me lose faith in humanity completely because why? It's just the idea of people that like actually talk to AI and like try to have conversations is ridiculous because it's like, dude, how lonely are you? There's never been a oh, okay, well, there's an exception. The exception to that is when you talk to, you know, the character.ai website, you know, we talk to like celebrities through there. It's interesting, but I wouldn't do that just because I'm lonely, I'm gonna talk to, I would do it for entertainment, so I mean, it's different. You should do an IRL stream to prove him wrong. No. No, 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 no. This is as close as IRL as you're getting, bro.
Friends. It's just, in today's age, I think the way to do it is that a lot of people just go about it the wrong way. That now it's shifted. The way that we do it isn't really how it is before. Now, of course, you can still do the old method. A lot less people are doing the old method because they're too afraid now. You can just DM anyone. You can DM someone and make friends. Or, you know, you're playing a game and, you know, you meet someone on voice chat and boom, now you're friends. And if they just so happen to live in your same city, even better. So it is definitely still possible. Friendships are not dead. It's just the way that we go about it, the way that people make friends in today's age is vastly different and weird, ineffective, you can say. It's not exactly the same as what it used to be. Now, of course, if you don't want to make friends that way, of course you don't have to. You can do it the old-fashioned way. Now, after graduating, if you're like me and just didn't go to college, you just went straight into the workforce, of course it's going to be harder to make friends, but it doesn't mean that it's over for you. You know, you can go out, have a life, go to social events, talk to people, get contact information, get phone numbers, talk to people, do something different, riz up the baddies in an interesting way. Every conversation we have ever had is purely transactional. Every time we speak to someone about anything is because we want something in return, whether you realize it or not. When you ask a question, it's because you want to know something in return. When you talk to a friend, you aren't speaking to them just because you like them. You're speaking to them because you want to feel less bored. When you speak to a girl, this goes for you too, ladies. You aren't just speaking to her because you think she's attractive, though that is one reason. It's because you want their contact information. We can take this even further. Even the interactions we have that are a net negative to us, like giving money away to a homeless person. Yeah, you just donated your money to someone who was more in need, but you know what you got from that? It made you feel good. You did that action not because it was the right thing to do, but because it made you feel like a better person. Almost like trying to make up for what you've done in the past. Now, you remember what I said earlier, how I think there's some truth to how you feel that no one cares about you?
Using Caillou's crazy. Oh, is it true that Caillou had cancer or something? I don't know. I say that like it's a real person. Like, no, he's just like, I don't know. I feel like I remember hearing that before.
Because it is partly true. Now, I know this sounds crazy. I was like, what the heck? What is this kid talking about? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What I mean by that is, a lot of actions that you see other people making in life, why it seems like some people are more lucky than others, why it seems like some people can just get anything they want.
This is me and my buddy Pim staying in one of the most luxurious hotels on earth for free.
That's all. That's a ugly hotel, I'm not gonna lie.
Staying in one of the most luxurious hotels.
And his friend is named Pimp. Okay. That's crazy. Nah, like, what is luxurious about this? Like, it has a nice view, but it just looks so unappealing. Like, I don't know why you would ever stay here. This looks stupid. I don't know. I don't like it.
Earth for free.
is because it starts with them. It starts with you. If you don't know what to do or where to go to meet people and make friends, TikTok actually has a good use for once other than just wasting your time. You could put things to do in your city, for example, like, I don't know, Atlanta or something, and out come an entire wave of results for fun things and places to go that you've never heard of. It starts with you doing something. You know, like I said earlier, it is possible to make friends, but you have to make the first
Low-key speaking to me, low-key. In the sense that, like, I don't really do much, like, outside of my computer and, like, the things I need to do, like schoolwork. Like, besides those things, it's like, dude, I'm not leaving the computer, so it's low-key speaking to me.
the initiation, the initiator into a conversation. Because almost everything you want and desire in life lies behind one uncomfortable conversation that you're just not willing to have. Hopefully I said everything that was on my mind. If I'm forgetting something, I'll probably just include it later. How to make friends, guys. I know how to make every friend. This is how you make every connection. So check this out, right? So what you gotta do is they don't want me to tell you this. So you know what you do
Who's
is
they?
you gotta go up to them and you say these exact words.
Okay,
Man.
okay. That low-key scared me. It was okay.